Okay, riddle me this. When you go to the shops and you see a special deal for the latest Star Wars movie, when it's just been released on both standard Blu-ray and normal DVD, I meant to say that the other way around, but I had to adjust the line. Did anybody notice? I don't think so. When you get that kind of offer and it says you can have it for a special lower price if you buy something else, but that costs you more money, do you go for it? Well, in my case you do if that other thing happens to be something you actually need. Now, what you can see here is obviously the Star Wars Force Awakens Blu-ray. Over here we have a universal case for a 10-inch tablet or iPad. I don't have an iPad, I have a Nexus 10, which admittedly is a bit old, but when you see what it's actually in at the moment, yeah, it's just a bit on the manky side. Really can't get the camera zoomed any further out at the moment, so yeah, it's served its purpose. It's been good, it's been loyal, it's getting frayed and damaged and whatnot. So I thought, let's do 2 reviews in one for once. Actually, now that I think about it, I have actually done 2 reviews in one before, but never mind. I can also do a little test on the new microphone I bought myself. Yes, I've got my Rode Pro all hooked up here, and it's set to standard decibel. So not the -10, not the +20. I'm gonna review the footage and incorporate that into my own proper review. So let's see, we have the Blu-ray, the light side. Strangely, the shop I went to only had the Blu-ray light side edition, not anything to do with the dark side. The standard DVD just seemed to be one vanilla flavour, but I thought, what the hell, let's spend a little extra money on something that'll give the best possible quality image. And yes, I do have a Blu-ray player, in case anybody's wondering. I wouldn't have bought it otherwise, would I? Let's see what else we've got in here then. Yeah, that's right, it's just a cardboard case, which is disappointing, but then you got the actual proper plastic case, the blue case for the Blu-ray. And I need something to open that up with. I don't have my screwdriver nearby me, but I do have this pen, so let's just go at it like that. Oops, bit of fingers. There we go, cellophane. Bane of my life, but it's gone now. Alright, so there we have the classic Force Awakens poster. Bit busy, I've got to admit it does look a bit full of itself, in that it's got a bit more going than it really needs. It could have done with a few less things. There is actually an edited version of this where somebody's removed some of the extra characters that you don't really need, and it does look just a bit better for it, but that said, I like it as it is. It's exactly what you need a Star Wars poster to be. All the different characters doing their thing. And the back has exactly the same information that you get on this wooden? Yeah, a wooden case for Star Wars. Yeah, that's lightly. But you get exactly the same picture, exactly the same information, alright on the plastic case as you do on the cardboard. So let's open it up and see, whoops, how many discs we've got. I've just knocked my light, I'll just adjust that. I've got my light precariously balanced on the edge of the desk and on the cross section of the tripod's frame. I've got issues with my lighting rigs at the moment, so I've got to look into getting new rigs for that at some point, but that's a different story. So here we have the bonus materials on the left hand side, and the actual disc itself, the main story. Whether you think it's just a reboot, which would be the wrong word, or if you think it's a remake of the very first Star Wars movie, A New Hope Episode 4, or whether you love it for its own merit, or hate it for its own merits, or whatever, you gotta admit that's a great classic shot there of the Millennium Falcon riding through the desert. Flying through the desert, being shot at by 2 TIE fighters. I mean, come on, mate, whatever you might think of it, even if it is using the same story beat that feature in A New Hope and some of the other original trilogy movies, all three of those stories do tend to share some of the same beats anyhow, so it's not more a question of what do they do with those story beats than anything else. Me, I liked it for what it was still a good story. Had its flaws, every story does, and there's a bit of mystery behind. Mystery isn't a bad thing. Just because we don't know who Rey's parents are by this point, doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. If you do, you'll really hate murder mysteries where you don't actually find out who the murderer was until the end of the story anyhow. That's basically it. I'll have to look at that in more detail, watch and enjoy the movie, and of course tell you what it's actually like in a follow-up review. Now let's just take a look at this thing. What's the best way to angle it this time, I wonder? Like that? Like that? Oh, let's just take a look at it. It's for 9 to 10 inch tablets. It's got generic holding in position things right there. It's got this unique concept thing, universal hookup system. No, that's not a universal hookup system. That sounds like an extreme version of Tinder. It's just a universal hook system which apparently holds everything in place like it does in that lovely picture there. And for some strange reason on the viewfinder, the lovely picture here is showing up on the facial recognition. I wonder. Magnets! I'm pretty sure you should keep magnets away from computers. Maybe solid state drives aren't actually vulnerable to them. I honestly don't know. Let's see, what is it telling us about the fabrics? The outside has PU leather, whatever PU is. Inside is floss or nubuck. Or nubuck. No idea what that is. Over here, just out of shot. So I'll have to turn it around like this. We have all different sizes and all different colours. Looks like 2 shades of black, 1 shade of red for other products like this. Yeah, it's got a limited lifetime warranty. Limited lifetime. Okay, how limited is limited? Are you going to tell us? Are you going to give us any clues? Limited is a bit vague. Well, I suppose that's really all we're going to get useful out of here. But it's supposed to be compatible with Apple, Argos, Motorola, Samsung, Asus, Acer, Toshiba, Lookman, and Beekeeper. I have no idea who those two are, but apparently they're all trademarks and property of their respective owners. Really? Can you trademark something if you've never been heard of? Oh, something's holding something in place. Let's see how this opens first. That'll be the magnet holding it in place. That'll be... Ooh, that's not something we need to worry about. That's just packaging. And that's what's holding everything in place. It's this little clip here. How am I going to solve this issue? Ah, there we go. That's just snapped against my thumb, and that's, yes, me hurting just a little bit. But nothing serious, I'll recover. Right, this looks interesting. Looks like you've got... No, it's... Alright, I'll just turn it this way. At first I was thinking this was some sort of storage bit, but it's actually just something to rest your unit against, I suppose. The actual clips themselves... Looks like this. Oh, yes, they pull out, they stretch a bit. So you've got a bit of flexibility there. Oh, right, hang on a sec. I think I see what might be going on here. Do you turn it like this? Yes, there you go. So if you want to use it as a stand, as a unit like this, you have it like this, and you can have different positions. Right, that's what that's for. I did actually say something about that on the instructions, but I neglected to read that through this time. Right, I'll just get the Nexus 10 out of here. Oh, it's resisting, it doesn't want to leave its housing. Right. So, I better put this down like this, because otherwise I don't think it's going to work properly. Actually, that could do with a bit of a dust, couldn't it? 2 seconds! Right, let that be a lesson to anybody who's wanting to do internet review type shows. Make sure your products have been cleaned up properly, especially if it's your own personal property that you're showing off effectively to potentially nobody. Because nobody watches my channel. And yet I still make the videos. I must be going insane. It's a bit fiddly to get that in here, but then again I'm not doing this at a normal angle that anybody would normally be working with. This is proving a bit fiddly. Let's see if I pull this like this and I pull... No. I might have to do this off camera. There we go, that's 3 of them in. And the 4th works like a charm. Right, so it's a bit difficult for me to put this in like this when obviously I'm not facing it in the way I normally would, but as you can see it all fits in quite snugly. And once it's in, everything's quite nicely secure. Bit more give there than here, but that's probably just because of the angle I've got. I've got a better angle there than I do here. Is it going to be the same if I do that? Yeah, that definitely has the same sort of give if I do that. So it's just the angles more than anything else. Alright, let's close this up and take a look at it this way. Port Designs. Not sure if you're going to see it unless I do that like that. Port Designs, yeah, that's quite nice. Designed in Paris with the Eiffel Tower, just to show you what it's like. I've got to say it's quite a nice stylish design, although there's sort of picking up a bit of... I'm not sure what that is, to be honest. Maybe I just need to clean the table a bit more than I thought I had beforehand. Yeah, it's definitely picking up something here. Oh well. Yeah, it's got a nice little funky fastening strap there. The magnet comes in quite handy. That's potentially going to come loose if it's given more than a gentle knock, I suppose. Yeah, it seems to be secure enough for what it's going to do. If you knock it against something else like that, though, it's probably going to come off like that, yeah. Well, it's not really something it's meant for. Let's just put it in position. Ooh, this is a bit dodgy. I'll just angle it a bit more so you can see what's going on here. See this? That strap is going right over the power button, so if I do this, seems to be okay. Let's just angle it a bit more. And of course you can now see my window in the background, so you can see I'm getting a combination of light from my camera rig, or rather the lamp I've got underneath it, and the great big window behind it. Pay no attention to what you may be able to see outside. In fact, I'll just get behind like this instead of being at one angle, just to give a bit more privacy in the world. I don't want people knowing where I live. It's not like people can trace ISP addresses now, is it? Alright, so yeah, that just seems to get in the way a bit. You know, this bit here is just hanging over. If you hold it back like this, then it just sort of stays upright like that. Don't really seem to have any way to hide it in place. They probably should have had it positioned down here more than anything else, so that's a bit of a design flaw. It's just going to eventually flop over like that. And I'm not exactly keen on having, you know, these straps going right over the corner onto the button, although that's probably more design flaw in the Nexus 10's part than anything else. But in general, when you've actually got it set up, it looks very nice. Seems to be a fairly rigid design. Doesn't look like it's actually going to come loose by accident. Maybe if you knock it like that, then it'll just fall down like that. That's okay. These things are resilient enough to take a casual smack like that. If you've got it like that, that's a bit more stable to some degree. Of course, it's not designed to take knocks like that, but it looks like everything's nicely padded enough to survive some gently rough treatment, I suppose. And the stitching, well, there's a bit of stuff that could do with a bit of tidying up or made it a little bit more neater. But that's about it. It's quite a nice looking piece. So, just as a reminder, to get the Star Wars DVD cheap, I had to buy this, and this cost £30. Is it worth £30? No, but it was worth it to get the Star Wars DVD. So I'll tune out now. Remember, next time around, I will be looking at Star Wars. Or at least giving you some sort of review about it. We'll see how that pans out. Anyhow, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.